Hi, I'm Cash. At 17, I had everything going for me. Varsity basketball, straight A's, and a scholarship to state in the fall. That was before the ACL tear during the championship game last month. Surgery went well, but recovery meant strict rules. No lifting, no strain, complete rest for 6 weeks. How you feeling, champ? Dad poked his head into my room, already dressed in his Saturday cleaning clothes. Still sore. Dr. Martinez said it'll be a few more weeks before I can. Great. Listen, I need your help today. Got that garage sale I've been planning. I shifted uncomfortably on my bed. Dad, I literally can't. Doctor's orders. No physical activity, remember? Dad waved dismissively. That's for sports, Cash. This is just moving a few things. Totally different. It's not different. Dr. Martinez specifically said, Dr. Martinez doesn't pay the bills around here, Dad cut in, his tone hardening. I need to clear out that garage, and I can't do it alone. I reached for my phone. Let me call Mom. She said if you... Dad snatched the phone from my hand. Your mother doesn't get to micromanage from California. This is my house, my rules. But my knee! We'll be fine. Stop being so dramatic. My friend Jake arrived as Dad was leaving my room. Hey, Mr. Wilson. Hey, Cash. Brought those games I promised. Dad clapped his hands. Perfect timing, Jake. You can help Cash move furniture for the sale. Jake glanced at me, confused. Isn't Cash supposed to be resting? His surgery and all? He's fine. Just babying himself. Dad disappeared down the hallway. Jake sat on the edge of my bed. Dude, you look terrible. Should you be getting up at all? No, I shouldn't, but apparently Dad's garage sale trumps medical advice. That's messed up. Want me to call your mom? I sighed. She's in meetings all day. Besides, it'll just make things worse. What about your aunt? She'd flip if she knew. Maybe. I grimaced as I swung my legs over the bed. Let's just get this over with. 4 hours later, I was in agony. Dad had me moving tables, bookcases, even an old couch. Jake tried to do the heavy lifting, but Dad kept directing the bigger items to me. You're stronger than him, Dad insisted when Jake tried to intervene. Besides, a little exercise is good for recovery. By afternoon, my knee had swollen to twice its normal size. When I finally collapsed on the porch, Jake pulled me aside. Cash, this is insane. Your knee looks awful. Tell me about it. I couldn't even bend it anymore. I've been taking pictures, Jake whispered, showing me his phone. Your dad making you carry that dresser, the coffee table, everything. Why? Because this isn't right, man. My mom's a nurse and she'd call this abuse. Dad appeared with another box. Cash, customer wants to see if this works. Carry it to their car? He can't, Mr. Wilson, Jake said firmly. Look at his knee. Dad glanced down, frowning. It's just a little swelling. He's fine. That's when Aunt Liz's car pulled into the driveway. One look at my face and she knew something was wrong. What on earth is going on here? She demanded, rushing over. Dad's garage sale, I explained through gritted teeth. Been helping move furniture. Aunt Liz's expression shifted from confusion to fury. After your ACL surgery, are you out of your mind, Richard? It wasn't a big deal, Liz, Dad said, rolling his eyes. Cash is just being dramatic. Aunt Liz helped me to her car while Jake brought my crutches. We're going to the ER now. Don't overreact, Dad called after us. It's just a little swelling. 3 hours and several x-rays later, Dr. Martinez stood at my bedside, his face grim. Cash, what happened? I specifically said no physical activity. He pointed to the scan on his tablet. You've torn through 2 of your stitches and caused significant inflammation. My dad needed help with his garage sale, I mumbled, avoiding his eyes. A garage sale? Dr. Martinez's eyebrows shot up. After major reconstructive surgery? Aunt Liz squeezed my hand. His father insisted despite knowing your instructions. Dr. Martinez shook his head. This setback adds at least 3 weeks to your recovery, and that's assuming no further complications. Will this affect my scholarship? My voice cracked. I can't say for certain, he sighed. But it definitely impacts your fall semester. I'll need to document exactly what happened. After he left, Aunt Liz pulled up a chair. Cash, we need to talk about what your father did. He just needed help. No, she interrupted firmly. What he did was prioritize a garage sale over your health. That's not what parents do. What am I supposed to do? I live with him. Not necessarily. She leaned forward. You're 17, but there are options, especially with documented medical neglect. Later that evening, my phone rang. It was my friend Marcos. Dude, what happened? Jake said you ended up in the hospital. Dad made me move furniture all day, tore my stitches. Marcos hesitated. Maybe he didn't realize how serious it was. The doctor specifically told him multiple times. That's rough, but he's still your dad. Maybe he just forgot? I sighed. You weren't there, Marcos. He knew. He just didn't care. I don't know, man. Parents mess up sometimes. Mine do. Does your dad make you carry couches after knee surgery? Silence. Then, no, that's pretty bad. Exactly. The next day, Dr. Martinez called us into his office. I've reviewed everything and I'm concerned. This wasn't an accident. It was negligent disregard for medical direction. What does that mean? I asked. It means I'm obligated to report this. He tapped his pen against the desk. Cash, has your father ignored medical advice before? I thought about my sprained ankle last year, the concussion freshman year. Yeah, he always says I'm exaggerating. Dr. Martinez nodded slowly. I've asked a patient advocate to join us. She can explain your options. The advocate, Miss Chen, was direct. Cash, at 17, you have rights regarding your medical care. What your father did qualifies as medical neglect. I don't want to get him in trouble, I said automatically. Aunt Liz touched my shoulder. Cash, he got himself in trouble, and your scholarship is at risk now. There are several paths forward, Miss Chen explained, from formal documentation to temporary guardianship arrangements. I have pictures, I mentioned. Jake took them during the garage sale, Dad making me carry heavy furniture. Miss Chen's eyes widened. Those would be extremely helpful for documentation. Dad stormed into Aunt Liz's house the next day. What's this about a medical neglect report? Are you serious, Cash? I sat up straighter on the couch. The doctor filed it, not me. Because you exaggerated what happened. Dad paced the living room. It was just a few pieces of furniture. After ACL reconstruction surgery, I shot back. You knew I wasn't supposed to be on my feet, let alone lifting. Oh, please, when I was your age. This isn't about you. My voice rose. This is about my scholarship, my future. Dad stopped pacing. What are you talking about? The torn stitches added weeks to my recovery. I might not be cleared in time for fall training. I could lose everything. You're being dramatic again, he scoffed. They wouldn't pull your scholarship over something so small. Aunt Liz, who had been silently watching, finally spoke. Richard, the school already called. They're concerned. Dad's face paled slightly. What? Why would they call? Because they invested money in cash, she explained coolly. And now their investment is compromised because you couldn't hire a neighborhood kid to help with your garage sale. That's ridiculous. Dad turned to me. Cash, tell them this is all blown out of proportion. Is it? I pulled up my pant leg, revealing the swollen, bruised knee. Dr. Martinez says I'm lucky I didn't need another surgery. I didn't mean for that to happen, Dad's voice softened. I just needed help, and you were there. I was there recovering from surgery. I'm sorry, okay? I made a mistake. We all make mistakes. I shook my head. A mistake is forgetting to pick me up from practice. This was you deciding your garage sale was more important than my health. That's not fair. Neither is losing my scholarship. I could feel tears burning behind my eyes. Do you know how hard I worked for that? Dad sat down heavily. What do you want me to do? I said I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix my knee. Sorry doesn't guarantee my scholarship. Cash, his voice turned pleading. I'm your father. We need to move past this. Like you moved past Mom leaving by pretending nothing happened? His face hardened. That's enough. No, it's not, I was shouting now. You always do this. Act like your feelings are the only ones that matter. I am still your father and you will respect me. Respect works both ways. You didn't respect my doctor's orders, my recovery, or my future. Dad stood up abruptly. I'm not dealing with this drama. You're coming home now. No, he's not, Aunt Liz stepped between us. The advocate advised against it. What advocate? This is family business. Dad's face reddened. Cash, get your things now. I'm staying here. Dad took a threatening step forward. I said we're leaving. Touch him, Aunt Liz said quietly, and I'll call the police. Try me, Richard. This is kidnapping. No, Miss Chen said, appearing from the kitchen where she'd been listening. It's protection from documented medical neglect. Dad pointed at her. You have no right to be here. This is my son. Who you injured through negligence, Miss Chen replied calmly. Mr. Wilson, I suggest you leave before you make things worse for yourself. This isn't over, Dad snarled, storming toward the door. Cash, when you're done with this tantrum, you know where to find me. The door slammed behind him, and I finally let myself cry. 3 days later, I sat in family court, knee elevated on a chair. Dad avoided my eyes from across the room. All rise, called the bailiff as Judge Keaton entered. This is a petition for temporary guardianship, Judge Keaton noted, reviewing the file, based on allegations of medical neglect. Let's hear from Dr. Martinez first. Dr. Martinez described my surgery, the specific instructions given, and the damage caused by the furniture moving. And in your professional opinion, the judge asked, was this a case of neglect? Without question, Dr. Martinez replied. Mr. Wilson was explicitly informed multiple times about the restrictions and risks. Jake testified next, describing what he witnessed and presenting the photos he'd taken. Your Honor, Dad's lawyer interjected. Mr. Wilson made a mistake. A serious one, yes, but not worthy of removing his son from his care. Judge Keaton turned to me. Cash, what do you want to happen here? I took a deep breath. I want to live with my aunt until I leave for college. I want my father to pay for the additional medical costs from the complications. And I want the court to help me secure my scholarship status. Dad stood up. Cash, please. I know I messed up, but we can work this out at home. Mr. Wilson, Judge Keaton warned, you'll have your turn to speak. When it came, Dad was remorseful. Your Honor, I love my son. I made a terrible error in judgment, but I never meant to hurt him. Intent doesn't change outcome, the judge replied. According to these records, this isn't the first time you've disregarded medical advice for your son. I'm old school, Dad admitted. Sometimes I push too hard, but I've learned my lesson. After everyone spoke, Judge Keaton made her ruling. I'm granting temporary guardianship to Elizabeth Wilson until Cash turns 18. Mr. Wilson will cover all additional medical expenses resulting from this incident and attend parenting classes focused on medical care responsibilities. Outside the courtroom, Jake waited for me while Dad was speaking with his lawyer. You okay? Jake asked, helping me navigate the courthouse steps. Not really, I admitted, but I will be. Your dad looked pretty crushed in there. I adjusted my crutches. Yeah, well, so was my knee when he made me carry that bookshelf. Jake nodded slowly. Fair point. You know he's going to try to guilt you about this. Already started, I sighed. Before we even left the courtroom, he was talking about how this would destroy our family. That's rich, coming from the guy who risked your entire future for a yard sale. Garage sale, I corrected with a small smile. Get it right, Jake laughed. My bad, very important distinction. Dad approached us then, his expression stony. Cash, we can appeal this. Come home and we'll figure it out. No, Dad. I met his eyes directly. This is what I need right now. I said I was sorry. What more do you want? I want you to understand what you did. I adjusted my crutches, but you still don't. So that's it? You're choosing your aunt over your father? I'm choosing my health and my future. Maybe someday you'll understand the difference. A month later, I sat in the physical therapist's office with Aunt Liz celebrating a milestone in my recovery. The scholarship committee called, she told me. After reviewing Dr. Martinez's updates, they're maintaining your offer with a medical red shirt for fall semester. Relief flooded through me, so I didn't lose it. No, she smiled. Your hard work wasn't wasted. Dad called again yesterday, I mentioned. Wanted to know if I'd be at Thanksgiving. What did you tell him? That I needed more time. I flexed my knee cautiously. He still thinks I overreacted. You protected yourself when he wouldn't, she said simply. That takes courage. Do you think we'll ever fix things? She considered this. That depends on him. Real change takes more than an apology. It takes understanding. And if he never gets there, then you'll still be okay. She squeezed my hand. Some lessons come at a high cost, but knowing when to stand up for yourself, that's priceless. I nodded, watching my knee bend further than it had in weeks. The future I'd worked so hard for was still there, waiting. Not everything had been repaired, but I had saved what mattered most. Have you ever had to stand up to someone who should have protected you? What did it cost? And was it worth it?